Hey everyone, welcome to the first episode of Spin It Reviews in quite a while. I'll explain that in a future video. This is kind of just an off-the-cuff track review that I decided to do for this new Bruno Mars single, 24 Karat Magic. Now, kind of give my background on this guy. I was a little bit ambivalent on, some of his early singles, and I thought his first album was very spy just because it got very cheesy at points, but he really won me over with that 2012 album, Unorthodox Jukebox, where he basically took all these 70s and 80s influences and really made them his own, which we would later see on what ended up kind of being his biggest hit, Uptown Funk, which was the biggest hit of last year. And it's weird to think that he's now putting out his first album in 4 years at this point, since he's kind of been more relevant than ever. And I was a really big fan of that Mark Ronson song with him on it. Even among music nerds, it was one of the more well-received hits to come out in recent years. Now, I'll say this about 24 Karat Gold. I'm going to be comparing it a lot to Uptown Funk, and it's really because that's the song it's trying to be more than anything else. It's very lighthearted, very kind of 70s, 80s funk driven, maybe some Michael Jackson-isms in some of the production. But ultimately, I was very disappointed by this song, and I'll admit the production is definitely a high point of this thing. I wasn't really a fan of some of the auto-tune that was smothered all over the beginning and the bridge and stuff like that, but the grooves had a nice punch to them, very glossy. But really kind of dragged the song down, in my opinion, was really Bruno Mars himself, and kind of the lyrical content. And let me be clear, I didn't go into a song like this expecting it to be deep by any means. Again, this is going for a similar kind of feel as Uptown Funk, which wasn't a deep song by any means. It's just basically a song about strutting down the street feeling like a badass, which there is nothing really wrong with. We all need those songs that don't really break the status quo, but are just great, fun, dancey pop songs, of course. That kind of goes without saying. But here's why I think this song doesn't really accomplish what Uptown Funk does. But here's the thing, looking at Uptown Funk's, it's just about being cocky, being confident, and just on the side is this element of, oh yeah, and the narrator of the song also happens to be rich, with the Julio, get the stretch. But it's kind of addressing around a song that's mostly pretty universally relatable. Someone can listen to it and just be like, yeah, I instantly feel cooler now. 24 Karat Magic, on the other hand, is a lot more braggadocious. And, I don't want to say there's nothing inherently wrong with that, just because there kind of is, because on this song, Bruno Mars is devolving into luxury rap. We're suddenly back in 2005 to 2007. This kind of throwback is not the good kind of throwback. I don't want to be reminded of, Rick Ross, that's just kind of an ugly fit for him. And it's not even there's any kind of clever wordplay, really impressive singing on this track. He's just kind of running down this laundry list of, I have money, and okay, I have this expensive clothing brand, I'm taking your girl, and not really adding anything clever or unique to it, aside from a musical element here and there. I don't know, it seems like this kind of bad pop song went out the window a decade ago. You know what it is? It's kind of like when that movie 9 Lives came out and we thought, okay, they're still bad movies now, but it's are we still releasing this kind of bad movie? That might be a weird comparison, but again, I'm unscripted here and I haven't made a video in a few weeks. Sorry about that, I'm a little rusty. I don't know, this song is not really giving me high hopes for this album, especially because it's the title track, and looking at the cover of this album coming out in November, it's giving me those similar kind of douche chills. I'm not saying that he should just be, copying Michael Jackson and Prince and, sticking to those safe influences the entire time, but I feel like he's kind of pulling from influences that should be long forgotten at this point. I don't know, I might have more fleshed out thoughts on this if I ever review the album he's going to be putting out, or talk about it on podcast or whatever, but these are just my thoughts now. If I had to score it out of 10, I'd probably give it a 5, just because the musical positives and the lyrical negatives just kind of meet in the middle for me. Curious what you guys think. If you guys just come to my channel to bash me for not giving this perfect score, I'm sorry. Just remember, I am a fan of the guy. I'm just kind of let down by this quote-unquote comeback single. If you guys have any thoughts on this, curious, let me know. Follow me on Twitter for more updates on what's going on with this channel, because there are going to be big changes going forward. And yeah, hope you'll see you in the next episode of Spinner Reviews. Bye.